And welcome to another Midwestern Minecraft Mining Livestream. We are here on livestream number 22 of this series. Do appreciate everyone who has come out. I hope that your guys' time zone, whatever your guys' time zone is most wunderbar. So, of course, as is going to be our usual shenanigans, we are going to be doing more fun things, deep in DOS mines of the world. So yes, we still got a lot of mining that we got to do. So that's part of the reason why we're doing the stuff. So why not make some fun stuff happen, getting all the loot we need, because of course, you know, we got to finish off the smelter and have all that fun jazz. So yeah. So I am in the midst currently, where I got to a point to where of stuff where blub blub. Most of the way through the mine shaft I'm working on, and but it was one of those cases. I was like, it's. I'm at a point to where I can, you know, call it good, you know, for our point of excuse me. Call it good for reaching the point that I've reached, but without having to, of course, go all the way back. You know, finish off the side gallery I'm on, and go. You know, be able to start a new one. I just thought, let's just finish up the one we got. Let's just finish the one we got, and we'll move on from there. Do apologize for starting a little late. We roommates and I, we had a little get together with some neighbors. We occasionally have some of our, several of our neighbors that we're on fairly decent terms with. You know, some of our neighbors are, you know, like, how are you people here? You know, that's of course going to be anything. That's going to be anything. So, but yeah, that's part of the reason why I had a slightly late start. So we are here. This is the current side gallery we're working on. I've reached the first cross cut right here. So as you see, we have to go all the way down there where you can see that dial right there. Hey, Cypher, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, did I? There's a little bit of water here nearby. That's why you're hearing that glowing glow squid right there. I thought I got all the water. That's one of the things I was making sure is this is basically where all this dirt here is. That's where the water is. I thought I got it all. But yes, getting mining stuff done. Getting all the loot. Said, Titan Quest stuff, you know, I don't want to, get myself burned out again. But, I still want to do, of course, some content creation. And that's, of course, why I came up with this thing. But, as I said, a little meetup with some neighbors and, a funny, semi-funny thing. Well, that's good to hear, Cypher. Glad to hear that you're well. And my thing, as I was saying, it went well. But we had a little bit of a funny thing, is that we did a very fancy chicken Alfredo sort of thing for our dinner. We were the hosts, and the neighbors that came to visit, they brought a few hors d'oeuvres. You know, it's a case of whenever this happens. This happens, every couple months or so. Is that we'll have a little meetup with some of our neighbors. Anyway, we decided, the three of us. No, this is pure vanilla. This is pure plain old vanilla. So, Yeah, it's I have played modded, but in terms of this right here, right now, no mods. But yeah, it's we realized that oh great, you know, we all thought, oh, like we need some cooking wine. When that's the thing, is that my roommates had gone out and to go quickly go say hi with some of their family that were, you know, passing through town. And they went out to meet them, and ooh, I hear lobber. And they forgot to. They knew this whole thing with the invitation thing was coming up, but they forgot to get, you know, some generic cooking wine. And they took some of the winery stuff that they coal. They took some of the wine that they've gotten, you know, to give to their family and all that, their family members, and they were like, "Oh, Sage, we sent off most of the wine that we have for to our family and all that. Do you mind if we use some of the stuff you recently bought?" And I was like, "Sure, go ahead." So they pulled out a white wine that I had bought, and you know, we all said, you know, let's first decide what we're going to pull out first. So we went ahead and, you know, we went through the stuff, and we eventually pulled out a semi-sweet white wine to go with the chicken, because traditionally in sauteing, you want to pair a wine that matches the meat. So, you know, white meat like chicken gets white wine, or seafood, most seafood gets white wine, where stuff like beef, veal, you know, red meats, they get red wine. And so with it being a semi-sweet, it was like, and we were like, yeah, here's what we got, blah, 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 blah. And we just decided, the one we chose was eventually the one that decided would be the best bet. And it actually turned out pretty darn good. I mean, most of the time, whenever I've bought wine from the local wineries that I go to, it's usually more for special occasions but holidays. But in this case, we all kind of done goofed and didn't have any cooking wine, so I was like, yeah, we'll take the hit. We'll take the hit. But yeah, it was fun. Got to catch up a little bit with some of the neighbors and, you know, see how they're doing and all that. And we got cuppa. Now we got to catch up a little bit, and more cuppa. Yep, that is. Even more. More than I anticipated. Yeah, it was a fairly decent evening. So I knew that, there we go, fix that boo-boo. Knew it was going to put me a little bit behind, especially with having to put up clean bark. You know, one of the things I had to make sure is that I at least got my bark washed that I needed to get washed before visitors came over. Unfortunately, got done just in time to be able to, you know, read them and, you know, at least, you know, putting them, getting the stuff in my room here and then going and read them. And, you know, part of the whole thing was, you know, we got, there we go, need a bit of gravel. Oh, go away. There we go. Part of what we were going to do is, you know, is that we, for the food, actually, iron, is that we're actually going to turn it into, you know, everyone sort of being in or near the kitchen, and we could just, you know, talk. That's usually what happens when we have people over, is, me and my roommates, is that we'll have a... Our kitchen is not ideal, you know, it's not like it doesn't have like an island or anything like that, but, you know, we have the adjoining dining area, somewhat walled off, but, you know, we could have a little bit of, you know, a couple people, you know, stand, you know, in the entrance area toward the dining area, and more copper. And, you know, we could still have them, you know, be a part of the conversation. And that's part of our regime when we have some of our visitors over. Some of our neighbors. And, you know, we just, you know, that way we can talk and say, you know, here's this, here's that, blah, blah, blah. And just, you know, go over things. So I already did this decent chunk because, where is it? Oh, right here. This whole area, as you can see, some of the dirt down there. Went and explored stuff off that way. I found a whole untapped geode that I was able to dig out. So that is why, and some of this stuff here is the way it is. Just going to dig this little part out. That, so we'll decommission that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. This was, of course, part of a previously flooded area, so that's why, you know, some of the stone is the way it is. The granite and andesite. Not granite and andesite. Diorite and andesite. Yeah. See here. Oh, no wonder I wasn't hungry. I was like, why aren't I hungry? Oh, that's why. I forgot to turn it back on to peaceful after dealing with the geode and all that. So let's quickly check all that there. Check all this in here. Stow our supplies and unneeded equipment. Let's see. That's not really enough. We'll take that clay at a later date back to the smelter. Which will probably be later in the stream. I'm so glad, I know I've said this before, but so glad that Mojang had shelter boxes. Alright, let's go ahead here. Well, I guess we're going to have to, yeah, we're going to have to head to, back to the back to the head of mine shaft, because we got full stuff. So let's quickly mute, as I, for one, do not want to have to worry about metric butt tons of down the way here as we deal with all our loot. So yeah, we'll that guy we just passed over there, we will be having some fun with him here shortly. Unfortunately, we had another bottle of wine, a different white wine that we were able to share as part of the meal. So I went ahead and took the one that we used for the cooking. Cracked open a different white wine for the for most everybody else, but and when neighbors tasted it, they've mostly tasted my roommates' wines, but this time they got to taste some of the two whites that I've had, that I bought. And they were like, wow, Osage, this stuff is pretty darn good. Where's this from? And I had to go through, yeah, it's from this winery right here. Went into the whole spiel of that, and they were like, oh, sweet. We'll have to go check them out. And I was like, hey, that's one thing is that, I love shouting out some of these places. They were quite happy. So, that's a win-win. A little boo-boo at times just sometimes can have unintended and very delightful consequences in this case. Delightful in as far as, getting some fellow people who like some fancy stuff from time to time on some good stuff. Neighbors are somewhat similar in the fact they drink wine, when the opportunity arises. And they don't get to do it all the time. Let's go ahead here. We'll snag up all this stuff. Like I said, you can see the amethyst and the calcite that I managed to pick up. So, let's see here. What I am doing here is being very selective about what I put where, because I want to hold on to this stuff right here, take it to the almost went in the wrong minecart. Want to take it to the what's it? It's I switched from Vino over to Dr. Pepper. Don't want to be drunk, as is my usual stuff for you guys concerning alcohol. Please remember to drink responsibly. Of course, drink the wine and let's have food and a good time. So, yes. I said I'm glad we had that little bit of an experience, We'll go ahead and come through the top of the item sorter here to get just a little bit smidge quicker. Yes, could have taken the track system, but we're going to have to go back down to the extraction system. Anywho, so turn the sound back on for the moment at least. Whoa, excuse me, but it felt good. I always like that little tap, 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 tap that you get when you walk on copper blocks. I'm so glad I decided to add that to the sugarcane system, as part of the composting system. Just makes life so much freaking easier. Not have to worry about going up and down, up or down and up, down and up. Oh, speaking of stuff, I am wearing my winter skin. Let me, so as you guys can see, I am wearing my winter skin. Got my my green shirt, red beret, black pants, dark boots. Splash. Okay, let's see. Gotta hop up here. Oh, wait, the ladder. Department of Duh. Come on. Want to make sure that these guys get completely drained. And let that guy finish doing his thing there. Go ahead and chuck the andesite right there. That one back downstairs. Ah. This side is obviously full up. Would seem like it at least. Stuff in there. We'll have to make sure to sort it out some more of this stuff here later. Calcite there. There we go. Amethyst. Let's quickly head up. Back up here to the item sorter, and we'll check at least what I got of this this small smidge of lapis into the enchanting area. Of course, part of the reason why we're doing all the mining is that's flint, that's gravel, wearing putting all the stuff right here. Department of Duds. And it's part of the reason why we do the, I'm doing all this, trying to get as much mining done, is, A, finish off the smelter, B, it's not time, let's quickly go Betty by, even though we technically don't need to, but we'll still set a spawn point, even though it's going to be far, far away. We do need to get the smelter itself done, as well as the item sorter. Check our redstone to see, you know, I've got all, I actually did, what was it? It was like either yesterday or Friday. I think it was yesterday. After I got home from my Friday night to Saturday morning shift, came through, I was like, realized, well, you know, I was doing something with the smelter, bringing some clay back. Yeah, I was bringing some clay back. And I realized that I could swap out some of the hoppers for chests. So, got a little bit fewer chests and some more hoppers reclaimed. So, sorry to all the headphones users there. One of those moments. Alright, let's make double sure that we are empty on these 3 boils. They are, so boop, boop, and boop. Mount up. And it gets the block, and push. There we go. Back out to the end of the mine shaft. Here we go. So yeah, it's just, you know, one of those things. Just got to get stuff done. As I said, I've gotten myself to the more or less to the point of with as long as a transit as it has become, what I'm going to do for future stuff is next time we extend out the mine shaft, which is likely going to happen, owing the amount of iron I'm probably going to be needing, getting for the smelter and all that. You know, finishing up the smelter and at least the track work and getting redstone and etc. 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 That's why when I extend it, the thought process currently is that I will somewhere not too far past this point, the current wall here, the face, is essentially move all the stuff you see right here, you know, all my bed. Let's reset the bed, these chests, the anvil, crafting table, furnace will become a new, well, you know, move them down a little bit, you know, probably say 20 blocks, approximately 10 to 20 blocks, maybe 15, I don't know. A future tree will worry about that. That's specific. And then 50 or 75 or however many blocks it'll be in this direction is where we will have the nether portal. And I know I've discussed it, is that we're not going to go back, but over there at the end of the mine shaft, there at toward the end of the smelter where we have all the tracks here, got another portal. And so I've already charted out excuse me, another portal there, and all I gotta do is just, you know, I'm gonna have to mine out the appropriate direction, and I'll meet out, you know, the 50, 75, 100 blocks, whatever it is, and then I'll have a single track coming back this direction, and I will essentially, you know, move all this facilities as we go along. I'll move the track up. So, yeah. Anyhoozle. Let's see. Oh, I can restore sound now. So let's go ahead here. Let's gather up our stuff. Decided at least for iron and coal, we'll do for gold as well, is that it's just going to be easier to just fill them up every once in a while. You know, pull out, you know, full thing, you know, have some leftovers and pull out the whole thing and then do it into blocks. Alright, so let's double check here. We are full. That is full up. It's mostly empty, empty, empty. Grab our supplies. Boop. Let's grab another half stack of dirt, and we'll pull up that other little bit right there too. And let's go at it. Oh. Don't forget to set it to difficulty there, tree. Now, part of me has always wished for vanilla here that we could have a non-hostile mob normal mode where you still get hunger, but you don't have hostile mobs. But of course, you know, Minecraft's not built like that, so I'll just iron. I'll take what I can. Because, you know, there are times where I'm just busy mining, and I might inadvertently, you know, come into some sort of cave system over my head. I haven't explored, and, you know, of course, mobs will have spawned in it because of the light level requirements and all that. And then, you know, I'll have a Zambit or a creeper sneak up on me and, you know, go roar or boom, you know. Mobs doing what mobs do. A little bit of an ore patch right there, and I was like, yay, iron! I had that little bit right there. I do apologize about yesterday's city building Saturdays not going to plan. I was not anticipating as much trouble as what actually happened. This area is here fairly well lit up because of the plants and the glow vines and all that, and whatever torches I got here, so no boom booms. No boom booms. Never, excuse me, want for clay ever again in future Minecraft worlds. Because of course the way that clay spawns in these lush caverns now. I'm certain I can find a way to be able to use clay besides, you know, as a building material and all that. Iron in the floor, raw iron in the floor, raw iron in the floor. 23 raw irons. Raw irons. I needs it. Excuse me. Get a drink. But yeah, it's technology. As I'm so fond of saying, technology. Half the time it works, the other 7 days it doesn't. Bloody gravel, bloody gravel, bloody gravel. I knew that was gonna... Oh boy. Do I dare risk it? Yep. I'm going to be going into serious semi-save mode because, of course, you know, I'm trying to get a new tree mobile and all that, blah, blah, blah. And, gosh darn it, I hate when that happens. Oh, I was all down there. Tree, don't be a dum-dum. There's some redstone right there. We'll use our fortune pick. And of course, inventory's full up. Oh boy. Almost done goofed. It's anti-goof. Anti-dum-dum. Boom. hate when I do that. So, before I move, let's get that clay. Do that there. Ah! That was a dum-dum. I deserve that. Totally deserve that. Let's see here. Screw it. We'll make 32 clay blocks. Those drip vines, drip leaves, whatever they are. Come on. Oh. Right. Oh. The reason that was going like that is because there was a torch there. Duh! Please get the heck out of my way! Wait a minute. Is that? Yes. Methinks yes. Oh, I have been over there. It's just an area that's a little bit harder to access. Still filled all in that. For a moment, I thought that this block here was irons. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 18, 19. So. Boom. No more water. At least right there. Why, hello over there, wet cat. There's iron. I just saw iron up there. Iron. Iron. Come to tree daddy. Of course, I misplaced my pillar location. My dirt column. There's a slime down there. Gonna give myself a couple more slime balls properly. Slap, happy slime. Slap, happy slime. Slap, 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 happy slime. Hello, good sir. Or should I say not good so, good sir. Just a sec here, guys. White cat wants out. Gonna let him out. Alright, white cat is out. Sit back down, finish settling back in, and let us deal with this slap happy slime. Slap happy slime. Slap happy slime. Slap, 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 slap happy slime. Hello, sir. You, sir, are in my way. Face my sword. Ha ha! Let's see if I go this way. Not deny the chance to get myself some more slime balls. Slimes being a little bit more now of a rare occurrence in their own way. Let's see if I could just... Where in the heck heck is that thing? I know it's here. Oh, slime mole's there. Where in the heck is the thing? It's here somewhere. Oh, is that? Here it is. Here it is. The way up. Ta-da! Oh! It's that way. Yes. I'm not going to worry about it. Don't worry about a tree. Don't get distracted. You're already sufficiently easily distracted. Wait, why is that? Somewhere up over there, actually. It's up there somewhere. Getting closer. Slap happy slime! Ow! You, sir, are a jerk. Baby slimes, baby slimes. Okay. Quickly get myself reorientated. Sounds like it's, Oh! Hello! Hello! Hello. Let's bring this guy in a little bit, shall we? You wanna have fun with me, don't you, son? You'll give me just... curb your enthusiasm, as Tree Dad would say. Come on, dude. Come on. Come on. Ow! Not gonna worry too much about those guys. Let's get back to what we're doing, mining. This whole last this isn't Slime Killer 3000. This is Minecraft. Drip leaves. Literally, all I gotta do is find the right places, just take some down and replant as necessary. All the drip leaves I'll need. Mojang had released copper here in Vilna, the only time I'd ever seen copper used was in Galacticraft. And of course other mods that, you know, would feature such stuff. It was so interesting when I finally broke down and played not Lupita's Galacticraft, McDoodle's. McDoodle was the one who, at least to my knowledge, was the one who did Galacticraft, you know, or at least laid the groundwork for what we know as Galacticraft. And, or at least the mod thematic of Galacticraft. And as I've said before, I know that McDoodle himself has there's a Discord community with stuff folks that, you know, are continuing, more or less continuing his work as their own time and lives permit. I have no gripe with modding. It's just that I much prefer the challenge of vanilla. Don't get me wrong. Modded has its benefits. I prefer the challenge of vanilla. It was fun getting to play Galacticraft. McDoodle's Galacticraft. Of course, if I hadn't watched Achievement Hunter play it, I probably wouldn't have played it myself. Juice there. Got some lapis. Hello. Been through at least some of this area. Yeah, it's some of the cave system. Yeah, it's, I realized that, yeah, it's one of those slanting areas. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about trying to go through all this slanty stuff. As I've said many times before, it's its own way I find mining therapeutic. Yes, sometimes it can make me want to tear my leaves from my canopy, but, you know, finding stuff and all that, or needing to manage stuff and all that, but at the same time, I'm trying to build stuff. Need to put in one's due diligence in the mines to be able to make stuff work. Diorite. Gosh darn. It's got me thinking back to my 1.8 world. It was the first one that I really got to really build some stuff on a far more significant scale than I ever got to do, because, you know, I was in that transition period between when they were, Mojang was doing pre-releases for 1.8, and I was, you know, it was on 1.7.10. And, you know, it's getting to play getting to play with diorite as a new stone, and having the pimple cactus farm looked like a giant pimple. I got it built, and I was like, oh my god, this is a giant pimple! It's the pimple cactus farm! I wasn't doing streaming stuff or content creation, so I saw that gravel and I was like, what the heck is that stone looking thing? Oh, it's gravel, not stone. Brick. Why was I thinking that was stone brick? Bloody gravel. Bloody gravel. Iron. Iron and lapis. 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 Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There, that's illuminated. That can go there. Huzzah. I did set it to... Oh, wait. Duh. What am I thinking? Yeah. Oh, that's bloody slime. Why am I thinking about stuff? Yeah. Why do I think I done goofed? To just, as I was saying, we got sidetracked. I was talking earlier about doing the super save, semi-super save mode, because of city building Saturdays yesterday, and it just, you know, my thought process is that something in current rigs, oh boy, anticipating to go one way, win another. Silly iron. Or am I the one that's silly? Don't know. Anywho, like I said, with part of it being my motherboard, that is. Stop. Stop, stupid mouse. Part of the motherboard being think it's in part the memory, because we've been, like with Titan Quest, Eternal Embers, we've been having the networking problem, and so, of course, that is, I did get a little bit of a look-see today. I went to the, my usual tech store's website, because they have they do this, we have, here's what we got in stock, stuff on sale, blah, blah, blah. And I just did sort of a little bit of a preliminary look, starting getting an idea of what they have in terms of motherboards and CPUs, because I figure probably the CPU itself might be a little damaged too, knowing the fact that, I turned it the wrong way, replacing, oh, look at that, we're at the first crosscut. What's that? Oh, I saw this bit of stone in here, and I thought, is that coal? Nope, it's just regular stone. So, like I said, with motherboard being partly fried in terms of ports, 2 RAM slots gone, having Titan Quest, have, excuse me, having, it's, networking issues, and now, Pharaoh Cleopatra not wanting to, cooperate. That's why I figured, let's enter semi-serious save money mode and really start to see what I can do to get some money saved for core rebuild. Gonna have to plan is, as of right now, it's probably going, the way it's looking is, I'm going to need to replace, for sure, what I want to replace is my motherboard, RAM, and CPU. Now, I'm going to probably go in at some point. I'm anticipating it being sometime probably about a month from now. I get paid on Friday, but I want to make sure that I have a nice chunk of change, more than what I already have, set aside in case of necessity. But the thought that I've got going through my canopy, let's go ahead here and let's do this. Get rid of some of our, what's it here? Stone, not stone brick, cobblestone. Thought process being is if that I make sure that I get more than what I, far more than what I have right now in terms of money. Because like I said, trying to save new tree mobile and all that. Oh, lapis. Oops. And all that. Would rather try to have some more money. Like I said, it's unfortunately been the sort of thing where also doing investing and all that is sometimes, fiddled with, and having other stuff happen is sometimes more than anticipated, fiddled with my finances. And, just trying to, keep so many balls in the air. So, I'm just going to find ways, just cut down my expenses. That way I can, like I said, hopefully I am, I know that I've had some overtime, lost a significant chunk of OT this past couple weeks at work, so that's part of the reason why I didn't have, like for this past week, didn't have a second episode of Titan Quest Season 3. Oopsies. Because my thing got all there. So I'm going to take some change in and put it in my savings account to help with that. My regular savings account and all that. So, it'll probably be mid-December-ish. So just about a little over 2 months from now. 2 months, a month, 4 weeks-ish. Approximate. But I should hopefully have some money stowed away. And there we go. We're back at that cut. So hopefully that I will have 2 more this paycheck and another. Oh, coal. That's what I need. That I should hopefully have with about 3 paychecks. Should have a nice chunk of change. Oh, jeez. White cat is mewing at my door. Just a sec. White cat wants in. Hello there, White Cat. I hope you are happy now that you're back on my bed. Obviously, you had to go visit the, with neighbors being over and all that. You didn't, you kind of wanted to hide there, didn't you? You didn't like all the extra voices, did you? Did you? Of course not. You're a very, like many cats, you're a very, even for a more social one the way you are still fairly selective when it comes to the individuals you interact with. Come here, White Cat. What you think you're doing? Come here, White Cat. Oh, that's right. Just us with my sheets. That's right, White Cat. That's right. Will you turn on your jet engine? Will you purr super loud? Or are you just going to be more content to just be patted? Sounds like he's more content to just be patted, guys. He's not jet engineing. Well, you are getting old for a cat. Actually had to go to the vet this past week. We had to take him to the vet, and the vet said, he's starting to get old. Do keep an weather eye on him. Make sure you keep feed. Make sure you feed. We have to change up his diet a little bit to help him out because he has lost some weight. We've also done some stuff to help make sure he has water and all that. Yeah, you're just getting old, White Cat. You're an old fart, or as I like to call him, from in the days of wireless telegraphy during the Titanic era. It was not uncommon, since many of the wireless telegraphers that worked the North Atlantic went pretty much all to the same Marconi school for telegraphy with the Marconi Wireless Company, whatever it was called. I'm blanking out right now. It was common to say, amongst their jargon, to say "O.M. old man." And it's more of a, to my understanding, a little bit of a British thing as well. Is that of course there be American, French, British, Irish, whoever, and that a fairly common term amongst all these guys would say as they would communicate. They would be, like some of the famous tech developers today. Oh, you want back out, White Cat? Just a second. He wants back out. Sorry about that. But yeah, the wireless telegraphers, their running gags, had as part of their, in those moments when when they might have a break transmitting messages. Some of them would, some of them might, send one message to another, have the old man OM as part of their slang. And it's stuff like that happened. So I just get myself into super save mode with money. Hopefully about 2 paychecks after this one I should hopefully have, if I have done my math. If I have done my math right, I will be able to have have a new core, a new motherboard, new RAM, new CPU. I may have to buy also a new SSD, an M.2 SSD. But and that's part of the reason why I want to make sure I have some money set aside for that. So that I can afford, if I decide that is worth that extra little bit of expense. I'm thinking that as soon as we get back to the main mine shaft, dump our stuff off, and restock, we will take a short break. That way I can stretch my roots more fully than just now. Gosh darn, we just keep following a vein of coal there. I mean, a copper. Listen. That may be a storm. Wasn't sure. Heard some weird faint background noise in my headphones, and I thought that might have been a storm in the distance in Minecraft. Here to get all this copper up. Yes, I know I technically don't need it, but I will still mine it for the sake of stuff. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's another thing I have to consider is Titan Quest 2. Should make sure to show you guys after we do our little break dealio. I'll make sure to pull up Steam. just to show you guys. That's they have SSD required as part of the tech specs. And so, you know, my current M.2 SSD is a 1 terabyte. And obviously 50 gigs is, you know, it's for a 1 tera drive, you know, that can be a little bit consumptive, but overall with most of my stuff, at least for the time being here on spinning media, it's just a little bit easier in some ways to just, you know, that's why I bought a 4 tera drive, so that I would have some method of capacity. Oh, thought I got all that iron. Guess not. Okay, we are back at the main mine shaft. Ah! Don't do that, tree. Just trying to pick my what's it. See, of course, here a little bit of where I placed in, I presume that this is this stone that I placed here, this granite right there for stuff. Finally, got part of a hunger joint here used. All right, I'll just go ahead and switch back over to peaceful. Oh. Not you. You! Go ahead and make that deposit. The shulker box is full. Check that there. Oops, do not want that iron, at least not right away. Department of Depth. Nope. I forgot. I thought I got all the lapis. Duh! I was like, wait a minute. This amount of lapis doesn't seem right here, tree. What are you doing? Oops. go ahead here right quick. We'll take a quick little break. I do need to go use the little trees room. So yeah, guys, let's everybody go ahead and stand up, stretch, get something to eat, get something to drink, use the restroom. I'll see y'all here in a few minutes. Okay, guys, Tria's back. So, as promised, we're going to just go over a little bit of TQ2 here. So, excuse me. It is current as of the time of stream. We have 11 hours in the remaining of this week-long deal for TQ2. So the discount price of $26.99 USD, originally $29.99 USD. Also included with the bundle is the TQ2 soundtrack. We've had Friday they announced a price increase, and that's part of the whole deal here. This past Wednesday they added, as you can see, a comparison between character creator and tooltips. You can see, of course, the male and female character comparison. Of course, there's there on the male image is the one on the for the male. The one in the left-hand corner of the male image is TQ1. Then to the main right is TQ2, and then for the female, same lower left-hand corner of the image is TQ1 and then TQ2. So here is they're talking about the early access roadmap. The game is in early access, and a fair amount of the reviews are in the last 30 days, 77 of 570, 77% of 570 reviews are mostly positive, and 84%, 5570 in English are positive. So that's a fairly good thing for early access. Yeah, it's additional notes. They go over here: 64-bit processor, Windows 1011, Intel i5 8600K, AMD Ryzen 5 2600X, 16 gigs RAM, graphics, 8 gigs of VRAM, AMD 6700 XT, and blah blah blah. SSD required, and as you see, 64-bit i5 12400, 5600X, 32 gigs of RAM, 12 gigs VRAM, RTX 3070 Ti, 4070 Radeon 1600 XT. I'm very suited to that. 50 gigs available space, SSD required. So, I just wanted to make sure to let you guys see that. I'm just going to quickly pop back on my break screen. That way I can get Minecraft relaunched and re-uploaded. Get things going back to the mines. But yeah, I just took the advantage of the situation to buy it while it was cheap. And like I said, I'm going to wait for TQ2 to be fully released for before we start doing playing it. And if we have to start a fourth season, and that's probably what's going to happen, is we're more than likely to be starting a fourth season of TQ1. Honestly, I would love to have a fourth season. I do not mind, part of me does not at all mind waiting for THQ Nordic and Grimlore Games to get their stuff done. And my continuing theory is, oops, I forgot something. I forgot to bring up Chatbot and OBS. Just a second. Oopsie poopsies on my part. I would rather have a somewhat more polished TQ2 rather than, as I've said before, I've gotten burned out on TQ1. I would rather have them use this ion. Oopsie poopsies. I forgot to fully do that. I would rather they do their stuff to make it a polished game. Yes, I know I'm missing out on the opportunity to put an input. I would honestly rather not be going back and forth between TQ1 and TQ2. Playing one than the other and, you know, think of stuff, you know. Just put that there. Yeah. You can see that's part of the old roof there, the old roof line. Putting out stuff there. But I would rather have Grimlore Games and THQ Nordic take the time to make a more polished version, and this is where, of course, having early access, you know, most games they'll have some sort of beta, and then an alpha, and then general release. Whereas, and there are pros and cons to that, as well as there being pros and cons to an early access like TQ2. And, you know, back in the day, you know, and it's still present, still somewhat relevant even today, you know, even though the game is almost 20 years old. You know, it's still a fairly popular game in its own way. Like I said, I played it, let's see, when was that? Came out in 2006, as I recall. 2006 is what I remember. Let me double check to make sure I'm not speaking out my butt. Let's see. Yeah, 2006. So it'll be turning 20 next year. The base game. And Immortal's Throne was released the next year, and 2007. So 2 years from now, TQ Immortal Throne will be having its 20th birthday, and this year is the 10th birthday of Ragnarok, actually. Oh. Wait, next year. Next year. Next year. That brain was not computing properly. Brain was not computing properly. So, yeah, it's, you know, there were some, you know, I've caught a little bit of some of the backstory is that, people were giving it, you know, thumbs downs and all that because they were using essentially pirated discs, and you know, that led to a cycle of. But it's, you know, it's one of these. It's like some cult films, you know, they become cult classics, and but of course, and Titan Quest to a degree entered that. OG Titan Quest before it finally, you know, became popular and sustained its popularity became sustained enough to where, you know, Nordic Games was when THQ and Iron Lore went out of business. Unfortunately, they were able to eventually, you know, acquire the IP and were able to, you know, breathe. Ragnarok and the other DLCs into it. Based on what I've been able to play of both of the 3 DLCs, well, you know what we've already in part played with Eternal Embers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Redstone, hello. I think Ragnarok's the best of the three. But then, of course, you know, I love me some Nordic mythology and all that. I have got a few ideas about what my opinion on Eternal Embers, but I'm going to wait until we have fully played the DLC before rendering my judgment. It'll also give me some time to think about it, too. It's one of the, you know, interesting little bits, you know, with the Atlantis DLC is, you know, the common story of, you know, this whoop, that was an oopsie poopsies. Let's see here. Oh, it's a perfect time to toss a piece of bloody gravel. Let's see here. Just pillar up. But, you know, it's the standard mythos of Atlantis being a highly advanced civilization and ultimately becoming an affront to the gods, and how they, you know, they were punished for their crimes. You know, we kind of see this a little bit in the Zeus Poseidon DLC with I'm a dum-dum. I just realized I need torches, and my canopy went, where in the heck are my torches? And we're on peaceful still. I was like, where are my shulker boxes? Oh, wait, they're back at the thing. I have to go all the way back just to get them. So anyway, back to Atlantis stuff. So yeah, we see this, you know, a little bit in the Zeus Poseidon. You know, it sort of indirectly touches on it, how the you know, the sort of semi-growing conflict, in a way, between the Atlanteans and the Olympians. But how they are, of course, able to reconcile through Atlas. Excuse me. And go from there, essentially. Let's see. Yes, I did. Yeah, how they were able to reconcile through Atlas. The Atlanteans and the Olympians were able to reconcile through Atlas. The efforts of Atlas, and come on. And of course, you know, the future that they eventually will, you know, of course, fall. And all that. So, since we're here, we'll just take directly from that guy. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. And of course, there's, as we see in TQ Atlantis, you know, how, of course, you know, what's his face, who dies, you know, originally the last living Atlantean, and how he is, of course, eventually done in by the Omega Telkin. And, you know, the story of how, you know, You know, he says, you know, we became powerful, but conceited and all that. You know, how he has to now look at him being the sole survivor, he has to look at, you know, essentially the ruins of the once great Atlantean Empire. You know, we kind of see that again a little bit in the Zeus Poseidon, but a little bit more distinct in its way. Oh, he with you know, them founding colonies, you know, in Egypt, fighting the Greeks, of course, and etc. Where's the small scarpet? Hello. But there's also, of course, I haven't seen this movie in years. Atlantis: The Lost Empire. How of course, the Atlanteans, their city becomes buried under the ocean, of course, and all that, and just wanted to do that. Oh, I was thinking about it. Because of course, you know, it's what I remember in the film's opening sequence is there's a massive explosion from as I recall, I think it was described ultimately as a weapons test gone awry, and Atlantis and its hubris, of course, is buried back under the sea, and then in the early 19-teens, Thaddeus Hatch and gets roped into looking for Atlantis, and it's, you know, it's a very steampunky submarine that he and the rest of the crew of that. I'm blanking out on the ship, the sub's name. I'll probably remember it at some point, but you know, things, they find Atlantis but decide to keep it a secret. There. Torch. More copper. Also makes me kind of think back to, I got to see, as I later found out, it was the second Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And they had darts and the seal of Orichalcos, and how he wanted to, you know, bring back to the great Leviathan to do his shady business and all that, and all that jazz. later learned, of course, 4Kids Entertainment actually very heavily censored some of the stuff in that series. But one of the things that I was able to pick up on, that some more features more as of course as I later learned, of the and I'm going to use the translated names as I know them. But they were not the original. Almost done goof there. Taya in the English version. I forget her Japanese name off the top of my canopy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you know, I sensed that Taya and Yami Yugi were had, you know, there was a little bit of a relationship there, or at least they didn't. 4Kids didn't quite do you know, as good a job as they could have, sort of censoring that little bit right there. That Taya had feelings for Yami Yugi, later revealed to be Pharaoh Atep. And so yeah, it was one of those more interesting things that I was able to pick up on. Just a sec here, guys. Not showing up on my chat bot on my main thing, but showing up here on my thing on my laptop. See, like as I've said many times, if people have the time to create chatbots, they have time to go put their stuff to better use instead of trying to spam people into compromising their accounts. But of course, bots are freaking gosh darn pain in the arse bots. Time to make a bot. You have time to do something far more productive. Oh, hello. Excuse me, but it felt good. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Hello, coal. And more irons. And some gold. I can use a metric butt ton of gold right about now, IRL. You know, it's one of those things that I learned when I last year when I went on the ride for the Georgetown Loop is that originally folks that went out to Colorado territory were the 59ers for 1859. That's when some gold was found out there. They were looking for gold, and just, some was found, but just not like, say, in the amounts, like, say, in the Fraser Gold Rush, or the Yukon Gold Rush, or the California Gold Rush. But what was really done in was silver. That was the real money makers. Silver. Of course, up till 1893, with the Panic of 1893, and U.S. going from a mixed gold-silver standard to solely just going on the gold standard. That's what really put a huge damper on silver production. Of course, silver was still mined. It was just not quite as lucrative as it had been. Of course, I did get myself a little bit of Colorado gold. Speaking of gold, irony, not. But yeah, it's just some very small particles. A little bit of mix of sand as well. It's just so interesting to be able to get to see. Of course, Silverton, on the Durango Silverton, is, of course, homage again to the silver industry. Because, of course, there were a number of silver mines that operated in that area. And I think it was like until it was like the 1980s or 1990s that there were still silver mines operating in the Silverton area. And it was up until that time, when those mines finally were abandoned and they had a silver smelter there and all that, that was a big source of revenue and employment in Silverton that, helped keep Silverton going. And of course, they get a lot of Silverton these days still gets a lot of traffic, especially in the, I would say probably, and this is just my guess, mid to late spring through early to mid fall, or autumn, for those of you who use the term autumn, from the Durango and Silverton rides. Of course, I went back in May. And, things, in mid-May, at higher elevation are, of course, not going to be quite what they like are here in the Midwest. Obviously, things are going to be different because, higher elevations and all that. But still worth taking the trip because, oh my God, as I've said, I've more than likely said, at times it felt like my camera was going to spontaneously melt or combust in my twigs. And oh my God, it's just so freaking beautiful. So I know I want to go back, but I don't think I'm going to go back probably not. Like I said, I've already got plans for going elsewhere next year in Colorado before going back to Colorado Railroad Museum for the visiting DNRGW number 315 to the museum. And I just basically, think, it's they do offer cab rides in their locomotives. But of course, that is mucho dinero. A lot of money. Makes, like I said, I took essentially what is, first class. I paid over 200 200 bucks. I don't know why I was thinking buckets. Probably because I'm in my car. But I paid over $200, and that includes taxes, that includes ticket, historical fee, taxes, etc. It was over $200. My understanding, it's about something like about $1,000 to take a cab ride, and that's cab ride one way, and or something like that. It's a ridiculous amount of money, and I was like, oh boy, that's mucho dinero. That's put that off. I was like, when I saw the opportunity to take a cab ride, I was like, oh, let's take a generic ride first. Get views of the line, so you know what it's like, and later trip can go take a cab ride in a locomotive. Let's be smart, trio. Wait, is this? Hello? Hello? Place to explore. Place to explore. Let's grab one. Probably somewhere else past this area. Ah! Yeah, it's DNS, of course, provides a lot of service, you know, to help keep Silverton alive, and Durango too. So, you know, it's beneficial for both towns. But you know, that the alignment after the DNRGW, the Denver and Rio Grande Western, applied for abandonment of the line, that some good folks came forward and bought the alignment and have kept it running ever since. Of course, they have gotten DNS has gotten flack for some of the stuff that's happened over the years, most notably within the last few years, within like the last 7-8 years, something like that. It's some of the fires that have happened in that general vicinity, and you know, it's like, and I can understand why people are, you know, it's beautiful country. I can fully understand why the people who live in that area would be somewhat pissed and irked that you know, that potentially some of the recent forest fires haven't directly been attributed to the Durango and Silverton, but that's why they've been doing the conversion of their locomotives from coal-fired to oil-fired. And while that's not fully accurate for that alignment, literally for let's see, it was like in the sometime in the 1870s and 1880s that they got the Denver and Rio Grande Western got out into that part of Colorado. So about 130, 140 years ish, give or take. That was all coal fired, and you know, nothing wrong with that. But they the management of the Durango and Silverton realized that to help keep their operation going, that it would be better for them to convert to oil than have coal burners and potentially get more flack. So, you know, one of these things where take proactive measures, which is what I'm of course doing with the my rig, is finally getting myself to the point of taking those proactive measures to get I hear lava again. Probably after stream I'll probably come poke around a little bit in this these parts to see where the lava is, and excuse me, but it felt good, and see what I can do with it. I may take some depending on how big the lava pool is. Sounds like maybe a small to maybe medium-sized lava pool. What I'll probably do is use it to do some copper smelting because, oh, that's right. Because depending on how many ferni I still have back in the smelter on the metal side that have XP, because we do need to fix this brick. Depending on how, we'll see how much stuff I have to take back and for clay, and we will go from there. Yeah, they're taking they've been taking proactive measures to help mitigate some of that risk. I also received some flack about back during like 2020 and 2020, I think it was solely. Maybe 2021 as well, if I'm remembering that right. They were getting the DNS was getting some flack over stuff happening over at the Rockwood station outside of Durango, and visitors being there and all that. And so they had to pay a fine for that. Folks I know at work a couple weeks back went and got to show him. You know, I hadn't shown him a while, but he had to cover for night shift for a week. He was one of the before, when I knew him at first, he was, you know, more of an average grunt like me, and now he's now an assistant manager. So when he initially got promoted, he had to his ASM position. He had to go work at another store, and then has since come back. And so he covered for my regular boss while my regular boss was on vacation a couple weeks back. And so we had on one of the nights where we didn't have to worry too much about a delivery. You know, we worked it out. It was a Friday. That hello there, gravel. We worked it out. I was like, hey, it's you know, it was like, you know, when it got in later in the week, I saw that we had no deliveries for Friday of that week. I said, hey, you know, you've heard me talk about my trip in May. Do you want me to bring in my laptop so I can show you some of the stuff I took? And let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17... And he said, yeah, sure. So I went ahead and brought my laptop in and showed him some of the videos, and he's got a young son. And he said, Tree must, I think, you know, is it's like 5 or 6 years old now, I think, from what I remember. And he said, Tree, my son, would very much like to go on this. So I said it is very, very kid-friendly. And, you know, I showed him some of the pricing lists of on the Durango and Silverton website. You know, I was like, you know, it is a little bit expensive. You know, it's even the cheapest seats are over $100. But that's for like open-air gondolas and some of the other cars. But I was like, if your son likes views, this will not disappoint him. This will be completely worth it for him. So it's, you know, whenever you and your partner decide to you know, make the arrangements to go, so it'd be totally worth the price. And, you know, I told him is like I took the 21 plus seats because 21 plus cars because I didn't want the... Oh, water over there. I just heard an oxodal. I took the 21 plus seats because I didn't want to, you know, obviously going by myself. I didn't want, mommy, daddy, daddy. And he said, I understand. But, you know, I showed him the prices and all that. I think he'd have a good time, you know, if you guys took the, like a regular passenger car, or maybe even an open air gondola car. I think he'd have an absolute blast. It's, 9 hours round trip, but he would still have an absolute blast. As I said, there were times where I felt like my cameras were going to melt. Okay, let's go ahead here. And he said, "Yeah, we're going to have to heavily consider it." And I said, "I think your son, dude, would have a wunderbar time if he likes scenery." I know I enjoyed it. It felt like, I was seeing, like, it was mountains not quite like I thought I'd ever see them, It's a 9-hour trip, but totally worth the price. Totally worth the trip for me to make it to southwestern Colorado. Stuff would be recycled here or reclaimed. Okay. As I've said, part of my itinerary for next year, I'm going to be taking a ride on the Mantuo and Pikes Peak Cog Railway. That's going to be another little bit of a fun time, methinks. The dirt. Yeah. One of the things that I've gotten a look-see at their website, the Pikes Peak Cog Railway site, and they recommend being more acclimated to what is essentially their base altitude, which is like something like 7,000 feet or something like that, 6.5, 7K feet. I forget what that would calculate to in meters, but definitely it would be for me at least a good excuse to bum around Colorado Springs. And then on this past Friday, one of my coworkers reminded me about a channel he follows, Jacob the Carpetbagger, traveling YouTuber. excuse me, he took a ride on the Royal Gorge route. Let me get you guys the links, some linkage here while I'm thinking about it. Let's see here. Okay, so linkages. And I just realized that we could have been transiting this whole time down the thing. There is the link to the Durango and Silverton. Here is the link to the Pikes Peak Cog Railway. And then what's my coworker reminded me of for Jacob the Travel Carpetbagger. The Royal Gorge route, another of another old alignment of the Denver and Rio Grande Western. Let's see here. Let's see here. There we go. Jacob the Carpetbagger. Yeah, it was released a month ago now, but it just showed, for whatever reason, it just showed up in my coworker's thing. That he took that Jacob the Carpetbagger took a ride on the Pikes Peak Cog Railway. But also reminded me about the Royal Gorge route. And so, let's see here. Oh, get all these clay balls here. Excuse me. Go ahead and mute the sounds there for you guys so that we don't blow out the ears of headphones users. So I was like, oh yeah, right. I knew of it, but I'd forgotten how proximal to Colorado Springs the Royal Gorge route was. Hello over there, White Cat. I see you stretching. But that would be a thing to do on a Monday, and they have it's like they have like a 9, an 11, a 1, and a 3, I think it was, something like that. I know for sure that they have 1 in the morning, 2 about midday, and 1 in the later afternoon for the Royal Gorge route, and it's about 2 hours. So that's why I'm thinking that I could take a midday trip. But part of me is also thinking that if I took like a morning trip, I could also do that too. Have some fun there. On Monday, because like I said, the folks at the Pikes Peak Cog Railway, they recommend being acclimated to the environment, to the altitude in Mantua Springs, which is essentially just west of Colorado Springs. And for me, that would make a lot of sense, making sure that I'm acclimated, because I'm at much lower elevation here in Treelandia. And so, I wouldn't want to, I have had altitude sickness before, and, I would prefer not to have it again. Or at least try to minimize it. And there we go. We're fixed. Pick our fix. Let's go get our thing. I'm so glad that Mojang made that a thing. I think there's probably undoubtedly been a number of mods that, that allow furnaces of assorted varieties to retain experience. And this is just, save, use that XP. In this case, I use it to mend myself. But I also might take a midday trip. Sort of plan out a route to, sort of take me down to the southern part of Colorado Springs, in the Monday morning, because it would be a Sunday to Sunday event. I would head west to Colorado the Sunday before Colorado crossings. Then on Monday, bum around Colorado Springs, including the right on the Royal Gorge route, and then come back. It's a 2-hour trip. It's like 24 miles from what I recall, back and forth. So it'd be a cool little thing. And then bum around town some more. Then on Tuesday, we're talking about trains, Denas. Don't get me started on trains. You obviously missed out on the thing, you goof. How's you, Denas? Yeah, no, I'm not the goof. You're the goof, son. Talking about choo-choos. Yes. It's just in part walking down memory lane, in part, but also in part making future plans. Oh, you're good, you're good. Wunderbar. Wunderbar, wunderbar. Let's see here. Need another stack of torches. Let's get our cobblestone here chucked into things tech-wise, my system is really because I messed it up back in February when I got my GPU. It could be better. I was running into technical difficulties yesterday evening with City Building Saturdays, so I am going into semi-super save mode to save up some money to get myself a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM. Gonna keep most of everything else if I can. I'm also gonna have to have at my regular tech store, have them take a look-see at my M.2. I could probably call them up, or whenever I get a chance to go do a preliminary look-see at new stuff, to ask, when I kind of messed up my motherboard by not placing in my CPU correctly, would you recommend replacing an M.2? They'll probably say yes. But of course they're going to want to make money. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. But, yeah. Well, that's part of my thing, is I do plan on keeping my case and other drives, and as much as I can. That's the big plan. But I got distracted talking about trains, and in part, based on my trip to Colorado back in May to go see a number of the trains out there. Famous train, for those who know, I'm Mark Huber, better known as Heiss. Make sure to, yeah, those are empty. So yeah, I went to see him and got to ride some trains. Got to get some steam action on. So yeah. Oh, just realized I need to turn that there back on. A and B. Turn hard difficulty back on. But yeah, it's I'm going to definitely be keeping as many of my hard drives as I can. GPU, iron. All that sort of thing, and you know, that's how I've been able to for the last 2 trips out to Colorado is enter genuine super save mode, whereas what I'm going to be doing for computer part replacement is semi super save mode. I'll find ways to do I really need to buy this sort of thing? You know, etc., etc., etc. Save some, cut back. Still get a little bit of, like maybe a little bit to eat every now and then. But basically, save money. Hello over there, White Cat. How's you doing over there, old man? Just a second. I'm going to go over to White Cat. Just a second. Hello. Hello. Hi. I see you. I see you. Hello, White Cat. Hi. What you think you want there, son? Yourself there, White Cat. Yes, you are getting old. You're many years old. Yes, you are. Yes. Huh. Huh. You're with people who love you. Roommates, me, rest of tree family. He's not jet. I'm holding him, but he's not jet engineing. Like I said, he's tired. He's an old cat. He's an old fart. An old man. Paw rub. Paw rub. You, sir, have 18 little toe beans. Yes, you do. Little pretty kitty you are. Yes. You're not going to jet engine, are you? No? No? All right. I'm going to set you back down, okay? What you going to do? Do you? He wants out. Just a sec, guys. White Cat wants out. Yeah, white cat is white cat is white cat. So, yeah, it's anybody who has cats, of course. Is knows how their tenacities and all that to I'm also having to deal with another frickin' bot. There we go. On you, bot. On you. It's like makes me want to tear not only my leaves. Oh wait, it's autumn, fall. My leaves have already fallen out of my freaking canopy. Makes me want to pull up my twigs. Makes me want to pull out my twigs. The fact that people just want to have, use bots to, steal other people's money. They say, cheap views right here. Like, I'm not going to do that stuff. I already got enough problems. If you want to get viewers, you don't buy them. You prove that you're a good content creator, streamer, YouTuber, whatever it is that you are. In this case, Twitch streamer and YouTube content creator. We'll probably call it a stream after we get this guy here done, guys. Like I said earlier in at the start of the stream, I said, I got all my, I was just rushing to get all my tree bark done before we had the visitors, neighbors come by. Got a decent chunk of my bark sorted and put away, but I, of course, still need to sort some of it. 27 iron, 27 iron. It's interesting how these days you can get how you can combine various metals, with iron, titanium, aluminum, and all the others, that are typically used. I don't know all of them, but I know that there are other metals that are used with iron to make, God, what's the term? There's a term for that. I know there's a term. Like bimetal stuff and all that. And it is just always so interesting, the fact of these combinations of metals, to get either a very broad spectrum, like, say, building construction, or a very specific application, saying like a steam locomotive. That is always so interesting, how that sort of thing can be a thing. Please, no skelly. Skellies, no shoot me! Got this lit up enough. I see a skelly right down there on the top right hand corner of my crosshair. Right down there. Skelly, you just stay right. Keep your bony butt right where it is in that general vicinity and we'll have no problems. Your bony butt over there. And we will have no problem. Look at that. He's now got 2 creeper minions. All he needs to do is shoot one of them and he'll create a music disc. If there were baddies waiting to try and sneak up on me over there. The third block here, as I'd like to do. Ellie is still over there. It looks like the creepers have despawned. Oh, and he just despawned. It's at times like this that I can see why a lot of people go for modded Minecraft, because they can, like automate mining, automate production, of material, whatever. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the sort of person I like to mine. Ouch, that hurts. Just find the need to mine. Like I've said, I find mining therapeutic. Oh. Hello there, Zambit. Hello there, you golden jerk. You want to fight me? Taste my netherite sword. Of course. All you drop is some frickin' rotten flesh. Jerk face. Oh! I must have had that. I must have just dropped that there for a reason. So obviously that has that being placed there. That what's it there? There's my twig marks all over it. Cool. I will gladly take every lump. Didn't get that whenever I came by. And to quote oversimplified, oh no! Oops. More irons. And at least in the present time in mining stuffs, this side is the somewhat better side of the mine shaft to be getting metal. I gotta stretch. Iron, all the iron we need it for many construction projects. Finish off the smelter, need to build the item stores, and need to do some rearrangement on the stuff in the sorter too. Gold, gold. Got gold. Just that, guys. Sorry about that. White cat was wanting in, then out. In, then out. So, yeah. Typical white cat shenanigans. I'm not goofing around, and I'll score goofing around. I know I need to get that stuff. Excuse me, but it felt good. Let's get the gold. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go ahead and get this stuff here. Before I forget. Let's go ahead and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bloody gravel, gravel that's bloody iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get a little bit more cobble here, and then we need to make a deposit into our shulker boxes. Redstone. And iron. Irons. Lots of irons. Good thing that we got the gravel there. Don't have to worry about the bloody flint. Oh wait, that's right. I got the 2 more. Duh! Did I just... I think I just heard White Cat again. Jeez, freaking Louise. If that is you, White Cat, just say, guys. Again, it was indeed White Cat. Hello, Mr. Attention Needer. How are you? You, sir, are a butt. Come here, White Cat. Come here. Hello. Ah. You just love being held, don't you? Are you wanting to be under blanket, kitty? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Alright, let me see here, guys, if he wants to be under blanket kitty. Just a second. Okay, it looks like he is maneuvering. He is looking around underneath the tree bed blankets. He's looking around, scouting things out, looking, and oh, looks like he's starting to settle down. So we'll just get back to our regular stuffage. Yeah. Go ahead here and stupid tree. Close that freaking drawer, tree. No wonder your cords keep getting caught on stuff. No wonder that stuff keeps happening. Excuse me. All right. So after we get this particular side gallery done, we'll wrap up stream. Iron and copper. Lots of iron. We need more iron. Oops, how was I doing that? Coal! Flint coal? Yeah. That was smarts. Whoa! Excuse me, but it felt good. Gosh darn it. I just found myself thinking about Caesar 4. When you click on an actor, he goes, one of the things he says, I'm in the Denari. I'm in the Denari. Oh my goodness, why did I have to think about that? Like I said, after we get this guy done, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up streams. What time is it? Yeah, it'll be a good time to wrap up once we get this guy done. We're playing about 20-ish minutes. Iron. And more. It's also got me thinking about, I was once a famous general. You know, Gladiator says, I was once a famous general. No, really? I've actually got Gladiator 2 on DVD, and I haven't watched it since Tree Dad and we went to the theater and saw it there. Have to whip it out at some point. Iron! More iron. Starting to get fairly close here. Let's see. Taking a lot out of the debug screen, I'll tell you that for sure. And more iron. Stack of iron. And there we go. There we go. Sure that nothing landed up there, because sometimes, of course, that happens. Bye, Zambit. You're not gonna be able to nibble on my roots today. I have several, suffice to say, very pointy objects on me. Plus a blunt one. Excuse me. Let me take a little stretch here. Trunk was starting to feel like it was trying to squitch itself more than it normally does. You know, it's like, sort of thing, you know. And I'm like, no, don't do the to me. IRL. I don't need any ing right now. Wherever you are, Zambit, stay the heck away. Excuse me. Figure, hello there, Oxodal. Now, since yesterday's difficulties with city building Saturdays, I tried to take advantage of trying to get in a little bit extra sleep. And, excuse me, things were still a little bit messed up, which sucks. I was hoping I'd be able to do some Grand Strategy Sundays, but by the time it was getting on for me to get up, I was because I had some trouble getting to sleep. Darn. Of course, I did get some sleep. It's just now my tree body says, Tree, go to bed. Tree, go to bed. Excuse me. You've done a lot of errands and chores today. And I'm like, yes, body, I am fully aware of this. Cobblestone here. We'll go ahead and do it. And get some more iron. I'll gladly take the irons. Excuse me. Wrong pick there, tree. Yeah. Just so long as I get some irons. And more irons. Just checking there to make sure we didn't miss out on any. Good, good. Ah! Okay. Jeez Louise, guys. Wait, did I? Dum-dum! Jeez, frickin' Louise tree. Ah. Let's quickly go take care of this one itty bitty little bit of gravel, and then we're going to call it a stream. Let's make our deposit. Ziz, I should say. Alright, guys, we're going to go ahead here. As said, we're going to call it a stream. Like I said, starting to get real tired. So let's see, we may have somebody to raid, we may not. Let's see who, if anyone, I can go say hi to is live. Methinks I see someone. Methinks I see someone. So if you're watching here on Twitch at twitch.tv/OsageOrange, please remember to go ahead and hit that follow button. If you're watching over on the YouTubes at youtube.com/OsageOrangeGaming, please remember to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for notifications. It really does help. And as soon as this bloody advert finishes up, let's see here. Come on. Come on. Be nice if you'd hurry up and finish with your thing here, tree. I mean, ads, Twitch. La la la. Okay, good. We are very wunderbar. So, we have our raid target. Let's do the correct command here. We're going to go say hi to Sanwin over at twitch.tv/Sanwin. So go ahead and select our holiday raid message, which is the Tree Grove has arrived to bring you eggnog, tinsel, mistletoe, and good holiday cheer. Of course, it being the holidays between Halloween and New Year's Day. This is, of course, our standard. This is our seasonal raid call. Hope to get you guys later today, Monday, for another episode of Let's Play Titan Quest Season 3. And hopefully Thursday, probably Friday, for a second episode this week. And next Saturday, not sure as of yet if we're going to be doing CBS or not, but next Sunday we should hopefully have another episode of Midwestern Minecraft Mining Livestream. So let's go ahead here, guys. Let's get this raid party started. As appreciates everybody who has come out, and I hope to catch y'all in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.